I just want to say to all you folks who use their phones to watch these videos, I'm sorry, these kind of pictures just aren't very good for that. I'm going to try to get some fresh stuff up coming soon that you'll be able to see better on your phones. Now, according to NASA, the temperature range on Pluto goes from minus 400 degrees to minus 360 degrees. And while that's really bloody cold, it's not as cold as absolute zero. So if you're talking Celsius, the Celsius temperature for absolute zero is minus 273 degrees. And the coldest that it gets on Pluto is minus 240 degrees Celsius. So that allows for there to be life. Otherwise, all cellular activity of every kind just stops. There'd be no life possible. In this picture here, they're looking at an area, the same exact picture that we are using, where they discovered water ice. It's the only place on Pluto where they discovered water ice. I think it's interesting that it just happens to coincide with the very same pictures that we're looking at. Now I'm going to right off the bat, I'm going to go right into showing you the Leviathan from the deep. And now, while we looked at this before, there's some been interesting factors have come up recently that have shown that this creature is quite large. It's in the neighborhood of around 50 feet long. It's a true Leviathan, and thanks to a previous picture in another video, I was able to actually get some scale on how big that thing really is. It really is a monster. And you know, that's bad enough, but it's on Pluto. So now the New Horizon satellite has a resolution of up to 300 feet. So these pictures, unless I zoom in on them, we're looking at from about 300 feet up, which gives you some, pretty amazing resolution. As usual, though, it's not crystal clear. I mean, I wish it were crystal clear. But we just don't have that. I guess we're never going to have it. Now that octopus is attached to something. It's attached to a structure. And I looked at this picture for quite some time before I realized there in the darkness, because everything is dark. And by the way, this being a two-dimensional picture in black and white makes it really hard to see. I'll be the first one to tell you it's hard to see. So I did some things that try to help us out. But that octopus is attached to this structure here, and this structure is about, I'm guessing, about 30 feet high, and it's about 10 by 10. Now, I don't know what a structure like that could possibly be for, but because I'm not a Plutonian, I'm an Earthling, and I don't know what they're using it for, but I do know that they have this octopus attached to the side of it, about halfway up on one side. And the interesting thing about this platform is, or one of the things, is that there's somebody on top. There's a man up there, and he's doing a job. Now, one of the things I noticed with this octopus is the fact that it has a lot of whiteness on it, and I didn't know if that was a camera thing, if it's actually white in that, on it like that, if that's the way it is. I don't know. I mean, I think I do know now, but I didn't know. I had to look into this. And when I'm looking at the man on top of this structure, we're going to zoom in on him closer. As I said, he's doing a job for us, or doing a job for them. And he's actually seems to be struggling somewhat with a large container. And he's trying to, he looks like he's kneeling on his right knee and squatting with his left leg and trying to pull this thing over. And as he's pulling it over, there's something spilling out of it. So if you see his left arm going up there, just below his left arm is the opening of this container, and you can see something spilling out of it. And it's spilling out of it and piling up there in a bright white pile before it falls down. So it's interesting that it's really cool, in fact, that we can get pictures of people on another planet and they're doing things. There's all kinds of things going on in these pictures. And by the way, there are so many people in these pictures. Now I've picked out the easy ones. There's so many more there, and there's so many that I found and then lost and found again and lost again. So maybe I'll come back to this at some point in the future, but right now I'm just going to make this the last Pluto video for a little while. But you can see that material falling out. It piles up there, and then as it piles up, it falls over the edge. And then as it falls down, of course, it lands right on top of that octopus. And so I can only assume this is something that they're doing on purpose, and my guess is that it was just salt. It makes sense. It seems to be that they're going to be preserving this thing. Now you can't have a fishing village, of course, without boats, and there's some interesting facts about these boats coming up. But yes, there are boats here in this fishing village, and to the right of the boats there is that frozen nitrogen lake, ocean, whatever you want to call it. And there's a fisherman up there who's dealing with some nets there that stretch all the way back to that little white boat there. And interestingly, the three boats that I pointed out, the one in the middle is actually a boat that is broken in half. And in my opinion, there are people there who've come to look at the broken boat. In fact, everything going on in this picture shows me that there's this fishing village is amazed at what's going on. They've caught this giant octopus, and this giant octopus had a battle with the fishermen and broke that boat right in half. And you can see a line of people coming to look at that. And it almost looks like adults and children. Seems like there's an adult in the back, an adult in the front, and then a bunch of little kids. It's a little suggestive, I understand that. But if you take a long look at it, I think you'll feel the same way. Now this little triangular area is off from this where we were at, so not too far, maybe 100 feet or something like that. And I think it's a work area, and it looks like he's cleaning a fish. And it reminds me of one of those bottom feeder shark type fish that he's got upside down there. And while he's doing the work, his daughter is sitting behind him there on a little ledge, probably listening to her headphones. Who knows? But she has capri pants on. That's the second time in my pictures where I find somebody wearing capri pants. Pretty strange. I don't know, what the whole style thing is there. But here we have some bystanders, and these are just a few of the many bystanders. The whole village has come out to take a look and see this octopus, and they wanted to go down and see the boat that was broken in half in this epic battle between the fisherman and the Leviathon from the deep. This is a picture of what appears to be, kind of reminds me of a woman, and she's sitting there, maybe with someone else. It's a little questionable, I don't know. It seems like there's somebody there with their leg up, but I couldn't say for sure. But this looks like a woman sitting there, just sitting there, looking in the direction of the octopus, and she has a blanket over her legs. I'm sure she needs a blanket because, it's minus 376 degrees. And we've seen people with short sleeve shirts. But this is the picture right here with this little thing. I'm calling it a tank. And this is the picture that has people in it also next to it. And this is what gave us the scale that I've been talking about, being able to use this for scale. This location here, I kind of just threw it in because it's so cool. That's obviously people there. This is about maybe 150 feet away from all the other action. I've gone over this in great detail in some of my previous videos. I suggest you go back and watch those because it's pretty amazing. This is the very first time that we've been able to get pictures of people in large quantities, and there are a large quantity of people in this area. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.